Hey everyone. I am here to film a video on my experience at MEPS. Going into the Air Force, I decided this about 4 or 5 months ago, and I did a ton of research before I actually went to talk to a recruiter and join. So this video is going to be about my experience going to the Charlotte, North Carolina MEPS. I'm from North Carolina. I'm not going to say where because it's kind of weird. But I went to the Charlotte MEPS and had a fantastic time, which is surprising because a lot of people said that MEPS is like the worst place on earth. But I had a really good time, and I'm going to tell you about it. So I went on May 5th and 6th, I think. Yeah, 5th and 6th. May 5th and 6th, 2016, so this year. And I drove down there with my recruiter. I was the only person from my recruiter's office going to MEPS that day. And he drove me down there in his vehicle. And he's a really nice guy. He just lacks when it comes to giving me information for the military. It's almost like he doesn't really care, but that's okay. I understand. It's a job. But we went down there and he was briefing me about everything and telling me how and what was going to happen. So on the way down there, I was getting really nervous. I thought that it was going to be, I was going to get yelled at a lot, which I was expecting because I mean it's the military, you get yelled at. But I was expecting a whole lot worse than it actually was. So we got down there and he dropped me off. You immediately when you go in, you have to go through a security scanner that and put your bag through or whatever you have through a scanner also, just to check for like weapons or anything. And after we got through that, they made me immediately go put my bag in a locked closet, like it was immediately to my right, and they had cameras in there and everything. So I guess nobody's stuff gets stolen. And after that, I went to the front desk, checked in, and they gave me a name tag to stick on my upper left-hand side of my shirt. And I didn't wear much makeup that day. I don't know if I mentioned that, but being in the military, women are already kind of looked at as less than. So I didn't want to stick out by wearing a ton of makeup and have my hair fixed. So I just wore my hair down and straight and minimal makeup. So when we got down there, I was immediately told to go to the Air Force office, where the Air Force was located in the MEPS building. And so I went there and talked to one of the guys from the Air Force. I can't remember his name, but he was a tech sergeant and very nice guy. He was so helpful, and we sat there and talked about jobs for a little bit. He told me kind of what was going to go down next 2 days, and we went did a little bit more paperwork, and then I went to go sit down and wait to take my ASVAB. I had already previously taken my ASVAB, but and I scored really well. I got most of the jobs I wanted, but I wanted to do better, just to make sure I can get all the jobs that I could possibly get. So I sat down and took the ASVAB. They called my name, and I went back to a little room in the back corner of the MEPS building and sat there in like complete silence, and which is great because I need silence when I'm testing. And it was a small little room, ice cold. It was freezing in that room. It was terrible. And I had just used the bathroom, like peed, before I got there. And I think I was going to be fine because I usually don't pee that often, but I guess I got so nervous that mid-test, I was like going through the first 4 sections, and I had to pee so bad. And it was kind of funny, but I couldn't say anything. I couldn't leave my test because it was such a long test, and it's timed. You don't want to miss 2 sections just to go pee and do that. So I took the test. It was very, very difficult. It was way more difficult than the first one, and I took it on the computer. I should probably say that. I took it on the computer. It was so much more difficult than the first one. And I was panicking. I was like, great, they're going to take my worst scores while I'm down here at MEPS. and I'm not going to get the jobs I want. So after you finish, they immediately print off your scores, and I walk to the front office, but you cannot open the envelope that they give you that have your scores in it. You cannot open it until you have left the building and are in the hotel that they send you to. So I took it up front, they checked everything, and I sat and waited for my bus to come to take me to the Embassy Suites in Charlotte, and kind of pretty much I was done for the day. So I sat there and waited for probably 2 hours, and we watched some movies. A couple other people were waiting with me, and we got into the van right at like 7 or something. I was really worried I was going to miss dinner, because I was starving at that point too. But we got on the van, went to the Embassy Suites. Very nice hotel. Wow, like that was one of the nicest hotels I've ever stayed in, and they treated us really well. And when we got there, of course, we went in and went upstairs to talk to one of the sergeants over, like, I guess the hotel part. I don't know. The MEPS hotel. I don't know. But we were up there, and he gave us kind of a briefing of like where we were going to stay. He was going to give us our room keys, when dinner was, not to act up, that our curfew was at 10 and no later than 10. But I was terrified that I was not going to leave the building. So I went to my room after I got my room key, and I set all my stuff down, and I went to eat dinner because I was starving. Went to eat dinner. It was great. I got like a chicken Caesar salad. It was fantastic. And it was paid for. All of it's paid for. You don't have to bring any money. I brought some just in case. But all of it was paid for. It was fantastic. And